Live and local. Starring Andrew McGinnis, Matthew Haskell, David Petron, Michael Turner, Jared Moss, Gabe Warren, Brooke Burton,
Hello, welcome to Live and Local, where we are local but not really live. I am this week's host, Brooke Burton, and we are preparing for Oktoberfest. What are the components needed for a successful Oktoberfest? Food, beer, and our man Carl Meiss is here in the studio with some polka. But before we get into all of that, we must know why we happily get out of class every year at noon to go to Municipal Park. It's to celebrate the Volga Germans. That's a group of Germans originally from Russia that settled in this area. Most folks around here have Volga German ancestors. They traveled to America looking for freedom of religion and freedom from military conscription. They explored until they got to Kansas, where they decided the Midwestern soil and plains were similar to what they had back in Russia. So in the late 1800s, many people settled all around our little town. When they did, they brought the Oktoberfest celebration with them. Originally, it was a royal marriage celebration in Germany, but it was so successful, it became an annual tradition. Here in Hayes, we started our version 49 years ago. Now that we know the history of what we are celebrating, let's move on. I tried to find some of the best local Volga German food in Hayes. I think we found it. Today, my Volga German Challenge friend Syra Porez visited One Volga German and Master Home Cook to learn how to make an iconic German dish. Master Home Cook Christy Clevino will show my Volga German Challenge friend Syra Porez how to make an iconic German dish. I'm here today with Volga German Christy Clevino. Today, Christy's going to show Syra how to make a traditional German beer rock.
Okay, what I've done is I've browned about 2 pounds of hamburger. I've cut up about half an onion, and then I added salt and pepper. And just let that brown, and as soon as that's done, you'll drain off the excess juice, and we'll go from there. So I'm draining off some of the excess grease on here, and then I'll put it back on the stove and we'll add the cabbage. Okay, so now I'm going to add the cabbage, and I also add sauerkraut to my beer rocks. You don't have to, that's just the way I like them. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't. So you'll add in your cabbage. And I can't open the sauerkraut. Thank you. And then that'll cook down. And I just kind of add in my sauerkraut just to taste. You don't measure anything. Usually how the Germans cook, just eyeball everything.
My mom does the same thing.
Yeah. Best way to cook. Then somebody asks you for a recipe.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. I'll let that for now. And then just cook it down. And this is the filling inside of your beer rock. I am from La Crosse, which is about 23 miles south of Hayes. That's where I grew up, went to school. got married. I've been married for 29 years, 3 kids, and that's about it.
I'm from Newton, Kansas, and it's about 2 hours from Hayes. And I was born and raised in Newton and always lived there up until I came to college here. So I'm on my 5th of schooling here. And it's definitely a slight culture shock, I guess, compared to what I grew up. Here's really, I've noticed German based in a lot of small towns, and I just grew up from outside of Wichita, so it was a good change, but definitely have been enjoying my time here in Hayes. What do I like about Oktoberfest?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess the first couple of years I would help out with like organizations that are able to do their booths and like fundraising stuff for Oktoberfest. But usually the first couple of years I didn't really do much besides that. But then after I became of the drinking age, I still helped out with organizations. But last year was my first year doing actually being able to participate for Oktoberfest. And that was pretty fun, just hanging out with friends and drinking beer and watching the keg get tapped. And it's a really enjoyable time, I would like to say. And I definitely liked it, and definitely looking forward to 2 weekends from now, the Oktoberfest, and be able to meet up with friends and drinking beer and enjoying beer rocks and stuff like that.
I only have attended maybe 5 or 6 of them throughout living in Hayes. I enjoy them all. It really hasn't changed a lot. Just really enjoy it, and it's a good time to get together with friends and just have a good time. Okay, now what I'm doing is I made my dough, so now I'm gonna roll it out to get my beer rock made. So I floured the surface, and I'm just gonna roll. Oops, that looks about right. So, okay. Now what we're gonna do is fill the beer rock. Pat that down, and you just take a scoop of your filling and just put it right in the middle. And I just, like I said, you just eyeball it. A couple good scoops is good. And then you just take it up, bring it all up together to the middle, pinch it in the middle, and there's your beer rock.
I don't cook often, so we'll see how this goes.
My Freund, und es gefällt die Leute. Joden singen fröhlich sein, wer von uns sagt da schon nein, komm hocken wir uns halt zusammen, ich fang zum Jodeln an.
Brushing a little butter on top of them just to get them that golden brown shine. Okay. Put them back in. Then I check them every 10 to 12 minutes and maybe put some more butter on them as they bake.
Manche fangen staunen an, ob man jodeln lernen kann. Bei Herrn, da sag ich nein, das muss geboren sein. Das Dirndl
We have beer rocks.
mach ich ich glaub, Joden lernst mich Schluss mir auch. Ich geb ihr einen Kuss, dann ist mit Lernen Schluss.
That's good. It's pretty good. Especially this being the first time I guess, more helped out making a beer rock. But seeing how it was made and everything is definitely a lot easier than I guess what I assumed how you would make the beer rock. Even though I had no clue how you would make it, but definitely seemed a lot easier and something you can do out, which I might try to do at home one day.
Pretty good.
What do you think of your mom's beer rocks?
They're bad.
Trenton!
Well, they're good.
All of that looks delicious. It brings back many memories of the amazing smells of my grandma's cooking, my grandpa picking Swartz berries, and my cousins and I body slamming each other to see who gets the last beer rock. Good times. Now that we have the food portion covered, let's move on to something just as important, beer. For centuries, every celebration the Germans have had has included beer. What is Oktoberfest without beer? Not as much fun. That's what it is. Andrew and I went and looked at a local brewery, Defiance. Let's go take a look at Defiance Brewery to see what it has to offer.
My name is Matt Bender. I'm the co-founder here at Defiance Brewing Company.
Defiance with Nathan. Nathan's worked here for quite some time now, I'd assume. Nathan, why don't you tell us a little bit about working here, or what your favorite beers are that you've poured, or the favorite beers that have come through this place?
So it's a pretty awesome place to work so far. Can't ask more with the job. Pretty laid back environment. Serve beers only 5 days a week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday also. Pretty nice end of the day kind of a gig to work. Most people that come in here are like college professors or anybody really getting off work just to drink some beer, which is always good to have some people interested in craft beer in the Case community. As far as popular beers go, we have 4 year-round beers: Willy Nilly, Gutch, Twisted Logic, and Fuzzy Knuckles. Those beers are probably our top sellers anyways, especially Twisted Logic. We can't keep up with the demand. That's how popular it is. But the good thing about the tap room is we get to try beers we don't send out to the market here, and people really like those, and then sometimes we end up taking those, and next year we'll put those in cans and send them out. A few of those beers have been like Big Money. We did a cucumber sour beer, a couple other sours so far, some just random IPAs, and we did a milk stout last year that we're actually canning in October, and that's going to be one of the better ones we have done in a long time, I think.
Very exciting. So when you say that you have different IPAs and stouts and stuff like that, so you listed out 4 of your popular beers. What beer classifications are they? And then kind of go into detail about the IPA or about a stout and what the differences can be there.
Okay, so as far as like stouts go, there's a few different types, but the one that we make here is an imperial stout. It's usually a stronger, more malty beer. Usually pretty black. Most people don't really like them, but the people that do like them, they're really popular. That one is, we have people come from all across the country say that this is one of the best stout beers they've ever had. They also say that about our Twisted Logic, which is just a West Coast IPA.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
My name's Grady Dixon. I'm drinking the Blood Sport. This is a blood orange Goza beer. It's my favorite because it's hot outside today, and this is nice and refreshing. And I don't have a favorite beer at Defiance because they're all pretty awesome, but my favorite time to come to Defiance is right after they open, just because I'm so eager to have their good beers.
So we're here with the co-founder and co-owner, if I'm correct, of Defiance, Matt. So Matt, when you guys started Defiance, what was kind of the vision that you guys wanted to create for Hayes, adding a new brewery here?
Honestly, we just kind of wanted to make another destination, another reason for people to make their way past Atlanta. You know, whether they're coming from Kansas City or a stop on the way from Denver. As far as you know, with us and with Gella's here, it's nice to play off two different you know, businesses or business models. You know, Gella's is an awesome location that you can actually sit down and enjoy a meal and everything like that. Very traditional with Western Kansas, and I love that aspect of it. And with Defiance, Dylan and I are you know, kind of whimsical and youthful and like to joke a lot, and that's kind of where we wanted to go and have more of the kind of youthful side of craft beer. You know, you can definitely see that in our artwork and everything, which, you know, on the artwork side, John Stabler, our graphic design artist, is actually a 4 days grad. So
really,
we're
that's
super excited about that.
That's very cool. So when you're creating a new beer or creating something you guys have done before, what is your taste buds like? What do you look for when you're creating that beer? What kind of gets you excited about beer and gets you kind of going?
Really, a lot of it depends on the style. I mean, if you look at our portfolios as far as beers that we offer, we're big hopheads.
Mm-hmm.
So we make a lot of IPAs. But that's something like with our flavor profile that we're trying to do is, you know, a lot of Midwestern IPAs have almost kind of eat the enamel off your teeth bitterness and aggressiveness to it. And that's something that we're really shooting for is more of the softer kind of fruit notes and floral notes and everything that you can get from the beer, and something that you can, you know, have 1 or 2 pints and it's, you know, your esophagus is still there.
Right.
It's not
killing
eaten
you.
away yet.
That's awesome. So with Oktoberfest coming up, you know, we're going to see a lot of beer out there. Are you guys going to be out there this year?
We are. This will be our 3rd year down there, so we're really excited for that. Oktoberfest is you know, a great chance for a lot of alumni and families that travel back to Hayes and everything for that one event, and so for a local brewery to actually become a part of it, you know, they may come back, you know, once every 3 or 4 years and not realize that there actually is a new business here in town, and so for us to be able to be like semi-featured there is a huge honor, and it's a privilege for us to actually get our brand out to these people that aren't local and live here all the time.
So how far out do you guys go with your distributing? What's farthest place that you have beer at right now?
Right now, we distribute to 3 states. We're in Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. So it's nice to actually go to another town, whether it be Wichita or Kansas City on the K side, or KC-Mo, or hit up to Lincoln or Omaha and be able to see a Hayes product is awesome, let alone that it's ours. It puts such a smile on our face, definitely.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much, Matt. It was nice meeting you.
Pleasure.
I'm sure we'll be back down here sometime.
Cheers.
Time here at Defiance. If you ever get the chance to come on out here, you definitely need to come check the place out. It's a really cool environment.
All right, cheers to that.
I'm only feeling like 6-7 seconds. Is that what you need?
Yeah. Just say your name, and then that's it. That's all we need to get.
What a good time that was indeed. I had never been to Defiance Brewery before that. I will definitely be going back soon. They will have a booth set up at Oktoberfest, so you can catch them there and sample some of their great beer. Now that we have talked about food and beer, we are only missing one thing. When I think of Germans all celebrating with a beer in one hand and a brat in the other, they are dancing to great music. And what music are they dancing to? Polka, of course. Today we are lucky to have locally known one-man band, Carl Meiss. Hi Carl, how are you today?
Doing good, thank you.
Good. So we all want to know, how did you get into playing polka music?
Well, I was kind of around it growing up. We would go to these little small gatherings, parties. They used to have polka fests throughout the area. We'd go to there, and whenever we'd go to one of those, I'd always have to sit up by the stage and watch the band. And so I just kind of enjoyed that while going to those. And then I guess.
Do you play any other instruments besides the accordion?
Yeah, I do play I did take piano lessons for a couple of years. I did piano lessons, I think, about towards the end of grade school, and for about 2 years, and then I picked up the accordion about, say, probably 8th grade or so. My grandma had an accordion, and every time I'd go over to her house, I'd pick the accordion up and kind of play along. I am all self-taught.
Wow.
I kind of taught myself how to play the accordion.
That's amazing.
You know, the piano lessons kind of helped out the keyboard side of things.
Really?
So that I just kind of picked it up. I play by ear. I can't read sheet music very well, so I usually, that's how I learn how to learn my songs. Is I listen to a song, and then I'll pick up and I'll start playing along with it, and eventually I'll be able to play without listening to the song.
Do you have a lot of performances that you do?
Oh, I get around, you know, maybe a few times a month, just little deals. You know, like I play Das Essen Hut that's down in town. I've played in there before, but and then I'll play for little get-togethers, parties, whatnot. So.
All right. Well, do you know how to polka dance?
I can polka dance, but I think I'm better on stage.
Well,
So.
perfect. Well, all right. Well, are you ready to perform for us? I know you got a couple of songs ready.
You betcha.
All righty. was awesome once again.
Thank
you
you
so much for being here.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, folks. Tune in for next week's episode. And don't forget, Oktoberfest is being held on September 28th this year. This is Brooke Burton with Live and Local, and we will see you next time. Carl, play us out.
Live and Local is not actually live, only live during shooting. It's just a really good title.